Alright, so today I'm just taking my ZX6 out. It's been in the workshop, in my own home workshop for a long time, maybe like 3 or 4 months, maybe 3 months. And so this is the first time I've taken it out in 3 months after doing a lot of work on it. So this bike had a lot of downtime, and not because of the type of bike. These bikes usually don't have problems. It's more the way it was treated, the way it was sort of abused and neglected. And actually, I think it stood up quite well given the way that it was neglected, and that's a whole nother story, which I'll get to in a different video. The first thing I got to do is refuel. Love watching motovloggers refuel. So satisfying. Pretty close to empty. Alright, so welcome to my channel where we talk about bikes and more. And today I'm gonna review my my 2006 ZX6R 636. And I'm probably gonna compare it mostly. I've owned this for a couple of years, and I'm gonna compare it mostly to other sports bike I've had, like my Daytona, my Triumph Daytona, and my previous ZX6R, which was a 2016. So I had a 636 which was 10 years newer, and I sold that and I bought this. So the first thing I notice about this bike compared to the others is it's comfortable. Like, it's not comfortable in the sense of the riding position, but actually what I mean is it's casual. It feels a lot more casual, like smart casual, and not over the top. So that's how I feel about, I think, a lot of sport bikes in that era of the 2005, 2006, 2007, maybe that whole 2000 to 2013, compared to the ones that are newer than 2013. It's just the older ones feel casual, but that doesn't mean there's something wrong with it. Bikes represent, it's not too casual. They are still, a little bit high class, but that's how and it's everything. It's like I said, it's got nothing to do with the way the ergonomics are and how aggressive they are. I'm not talking about that. When I say casual, and comparing it to the newer sport bikes, that's like the performance. The performance is still there, but it's just a little bit, it's not as over the top like the newer bikes. The looks are casual, and you might say, well, is that bad? The newer bikes, they look a little bit over the top, I think. But sometimes that woman wearing the jeans and the shirt, sometimes, and a lipstick, sometimes looks better than than, you know, the woman who's dressed over the top. And that's what I mean. That's what I kind of feel about this bike. And you know, it still has, I mean, it's still got the essence of a sports bike. Like, no matter how old it is and how casual I'm saying, but it's still, like, I remember the first time when I bought it, and it was a mess, right? Which I said I'll get into that later. But as soon as I jumped on it, you know, it had its crappy shorty levers and it was just a mess, but it still felt very much, you know, it still had that essence of a super sport, like it's a serious super sport bike. And I think a lot of the older, you know, that era, they were very much super sport bikes. They are very much super sport bikes, but people are more okay with riding super sports on the street, and I think that's where that casualness comes into it. And nowadays, super sport bikes are becoming more just for the track. But back in, you know, the 2000s, people used to buy sport bikes to ride on the street. People used to love them. And it seems that, I don't know, the new generation millennials, they don't want that. They want naked bikes, they want comfortable bikes, like upright, and you know, they want electric bikes. No one wants super sport bikes anymore, and maybe that's what the manufacturers have sort of picked up on and said, we're not going to make super sports for the street anymore, they're just going to be for the track. The other thing is, I mean, this bike's really raw. Like, there's no, like, just look at the exhaust. The exhaust looks like an exhaust, and you know, you buy a bike nowadays, a super sport bike, and it's got, like, you look at the exhaust and it's just this massive contraption, you know, with a Euro 4 sticker, you know, E4 or whatever the logo is. It's just this massive thing. Because back then, back in the era of this bike, an exhaust looked like an exhaust. It was, you know, it was meant to make noise and meant to look good. And people still put aftermarket exhausts on them, and they fit in fine. I was just about to upshift without the clutch. I'm still used to my Daytona, but yeah, they don't make bikes, super sport bikes, like they used to. And just in terms of how they're used, I think newer bikes are a bit too high strung, like a bit too high class, and whereas this bike, I'm just casual with it, and I think it does get attention as well. Like, people realize I rock up on this bike, and people know that it's not something that you see much anymore. It's got this unique, the bubbly shape, and people don't really you know, not many people have them. They're a bit rare now. You don't come across them very often, which is the other thing. So you've just got, if you have one, just look after it. It's something unique. It preserves the era of when people loved sport bikes, just to ride around on the street and to look cool. They don't do that anymore. Nowadays you buy a sport bike to go on the track. No one's going to see you look cool because you don't ride it on the street. It's not meant for the street. So that's my feeling. Yeah, so, like, as I mentioned about my Daytona before, like, I felt that it was a very track oriented and very jerky, it just wants to go fast. It's not comfortable going slow. And I think getting back on this bike after such a long time, I can still confirm, I can still say that. So this bike does feel good on the street. You know, it feels good just going around turns. The throttle's not jerky, and it's not as fast, of course, but it's fast enough. It's you know, plenty fast for the street, but it's just nice and tame for the street. You feel like you're riding something that's meant to be on the street, as well as the track. I mean, this bike is very potent on the track. So, do I like this bike more than my Daytona or more than my 636? My newer 636. I don't know. I think so. I like riding this more. You know, I guess when I ride around to work and stuff. Even you know, riding around in the hills, I think I would enjoy this one better. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I do enjoy riding this. Like I say, for that casualness. I gotta get used to it again though. After riding my, I gotta get used to it again after riding my Daytona. So that's all I got. Take it easy and ride safe.